What if I told you that a woman doesn't truly fall for you with her eyes, but with something far older, far deeper, an energy so ancient it predates language itself, that long before words, clothes, or wealth meant anything, there existed a force within men that made women chase them, not because they were told to, not because they had to, but because they couldn't resist. Most men have forgotten this, but you're about to remember. Before we dive in, answer this in the comments. Have you ever felt like someone only wanted you after you stopped caring? Write it below, because what you'll soon understand will flip everything you thought you knew about attraction. And if you're ready to unlock the hidden switch in her mind, the one that makes her chase you even when she once looked away, then like this video right now. You're not here by accident. Let's make sure you don't miss what you were meant to find. They've lied to you. Not just movies and dating gurus, but your own conditioning. You've been told that to win her over, you must impress her, make her laugh, text first, chase harder. But the men she dreams about, no, obsesses over, don't do any of that. They carry something ancient, something unspoken. And here's the truth. Most will never tell you. A woman doesn't want to be convinced. She wants to feel, to sense a presence, a depth, a mystery in you that pulls her in like gravity. Not because you say the right thing, but because your very being whispers, I do not need you, I choose you, but I will never chase you. This video will not be about pickup lines or psychological tricks. Those are for boys pretending to be kings. This is for the man who wants to remember who he is and awaken something primal in the feminine. We're going to travel through forgotten wisdom, ancient codes of attraction buried in the minds of mystics, Stoics, and philosophers who understood human nature at its root. You'll learn how to shift your internal energy so powerfully that the chase reverses, not by manipulation, but by returning to your natural magnetic state. Because here's the secret. Women don't chase words. They chase vibration. A man who knows his worth, guards his energy, and walks with purpose doesn't need to pursue. He simply is, and the world orbits around that. Stay with me. What you're about to learn has been hidden under layers of noise, distraction, and ego. But once you see it, you'll never look at her, or yourself, the same again. Shall we begin? Long before dating apps, before romantic comedies and social media likes, there existed a wisdom passed down in whispers. It wasn't found in modern books or podcasts, but carved into temple walls, hidden in the writings of Stoic sages and Eastern mystics. These ancient minds didn't see attraction as a game. It was a sacred dynamic, a dance of energies governed by natural laws, not desperate effort. And in that world, the man who chased lost. In ancient Greece, the Stoics taught a radical idea, apatheia, a state of being untouched by external desire, yet deeply connected to purpose. To them, true power wasn't in pursuit, but in presence. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." The moment you begin chasing, you've already surrendered your center, and women, on an unconscious level, sense this disconnection. The man who needs nothing holds everything. That's the paradox. Across the sea, ancient Taoist scrolls describe the concept of Wu Wei, effortless action. The sage does not seek, yet all things come to him. He doesn't chase the river, he becomes still, and the river bends toward him. This isn't laziness, it's alignment. Women are water. Feminine energy flows, but it flows toward stillness, not toward grasping hands. The masculine that stands rooted, immovable, silent, and self-possessed. That's what she cannot ignore. Even in Egypt, priests of the mystery schools knew this sacred law. They called it Ma'at, the principle of divine order. The masculine was not chaotic motion. It was the unshakable pillar. When a man was in alignment with Ma'at, he didn't need to convince a woman of his value. His very existence revealed it. The chase became unnecessary because her soul recognized his stability as the safe haven it had always longed for. So why has this knowledge faded? Because the modern world rewards the opposite. We are taught to perform, to be loud, to chase validation through followers, text replies, and split-second attention. Men are told to chase her affection like a prize. But in doing so, they shatter the ancient balance. They step out of their throne and beg at her gate. And no queen desires a man who has forgotten his crown. This forgotten wisdom was never meant to be loud. It was passed through initiations, carved into cryptic verses, kept alive by those who understood that attraction is a current. Subtle, powerful, invisible. You either become the generator of it, or you burn yourself out trying to chase it. But something inside you knows this already, doesn't it? There's a reason you've been drawn here. You felt that chasing never truly works, that the more you run toward her, the further she drifts away. It's not rejection. It's nature responding to imbalance. And once you realign with the essence of who you are, the chase will end. Because you won't need to be noticed. You'll become unforgettable. And the woman who once overlooked you, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. Ready to explore the core mechanics behind this hidden law of attraction. There is a moment, subtle, almost imperceptible, when a woman looks at a man and something inside her shifts. It's not logic, it's not even choice, it's instinct. And that moment doesn't come when you say the perfect words or wear the perfect cologne. It comes when she feels something ancient in you, something rare, the presence of a man who doesn't seek approval because he already walks with truth. This is the hidden law that most will never grasp. Attraction is not created through action. It is awakened through being. And your being, whether you realize it or not, is constantly speaking. Every gesture, every silence, every breath. Most men try to manipulate attraction from the outside in, but the men who are chased, they radiate from the inside out. So how does this work? It begins with energetic reversal. When you are chasing, you're projecting energy outward. You're seeking validation. You're placing her above yourself. And whether she's conscious of it or not, she can feel that imbalance. The polarity collapses. Your energy becomes scattered, unrooted. You are no longer the mountain. You're the wind. But when you reverse that current, when you begin to hold your energy rather than leak it, something profound happens. You shift from needing her to choosing yourself. And paradoxically, this shift draws her in. Why? Because the feminine is magnetized by containment. She is water looking for the vessel, fire seeking the hearth. She's not drawn to noise. She's drawn to depth, silence, presence. Think about the archetype of the mystic, the warrior, the Stoic philosopher. These men don't beg. They don't chase. They sit in the stillness of themselves, and everything they need begins to move toward them. It's not magic. It's magnetism. Real magnetism comes from inner wholeness. You are no longer trying to attract. You are the attraction. That's the first principle. Hold your energy. The second is mystery over availability. In our age of constant access, men are too quick to give themselves away, always texting back, always being available, always giving attention freely. But what is always available becomes invisible. When she knows your every move, every thought, every emotion, you've become predictable. Predictability is the death of polarity. A woman doesn't chase a man she fully understands. She chases the unknown. She chases the edge. The man who gives just enough to spark curiosity, but withholds enough to remain unfathomable. Not because he's playing games, but because he's too focused on his purpose to be easily figured out. His attention is a privilege, not a guarantee. His world is a temple, not a vending machine. And finally, purpose above everything. There is nothing more attractive than a man who walks with direction, a man who is building something, refining himself, burning in the fire of his own discipline. When a woman sees a man who is loyal to his path, not to her reactions, she feels both safe and challenged. Safe because he won't collapse into neediness. Challenged because she knows she must rise to meet his standard. You become the flame, not the moth. And this isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming so deeply rooted in your own essence that you no longer chase anything, because everything that resonates with your truth naturally finds its way to you. She will feel it, even if she was never interested before. Something in her will stir. A question will emerge in her mind. Why can't I stop thinking about him? But you won't chase the answer. You'll keep walking, and she'll follow, ready to dive deeper into the ancient paradoxes and hidden meanings behind this phenomenon. There's a strange and sacred paradox buried within the very fabric of human attraction. The more you try to possess, the more it eludes you. The more you surrender to your own path, the more it begins to follow you. This isn't just psychology, it's alchemy. And the man who understands this doesn't chase women. He changes his frequency, and that frequency makes her restless in his absence, curious in his presence, and captivated by the one thing she can't quite name. This is where most men fail, not because they lack charm, but because they chase what should naturally orbit them. They misunderstand the feminine. They think she wants constant attention, instant replies, endless effort. But the truth is far more mysterious. She doesn't want you to chase her. She wants to feel pulled by a current she can't control, a gravity she didn't choose. And that gravity is you when you're living from your center. Let's peel back another layer. In ancient mystical traditions, from the Kabbalists to the Tantric sages, there is a principle known as the sacred tension. It's the idea that desire, when constantly fulfilled, loses its power. It is the absence, the delay, the mystery that keeps desire alive. It is not proximity, but the gap that fuels longing. This is why the man who is always available eventually becomes invisible. But the man who is there, and then not, who appears like a vision and vanishes like a myth, lingers in her psyche like a dream she can't shake. It's not about being toxic or manipulative. It's about being archetypal, the unknowable, the one who cannot be fully captured. That doesn't mean coldness. It means depth, stillness, a sense that you're living in a story bigger than her. And if she's lucky, she might get to step into it. And this is the paradox that bends reality. The moment you truly let go of needing her is the moment she begins to feel she needs you, not for validation, not for attention, but for something far rarer, presence. She begins to sense that your time is not given, it's earned. Your energy is not scattered, it's sacred. You're no longer a man seeking moments of pleasure. You're a man building an empire of meaning. Most men make the mistake of reacting to every message, every look, every shift in her mood. But the man who is chaste doesn't react. He observes. Like the Stoics taught, he remains unmoved by appearances, steady in his path. He is not cruel. He is calm, and in his calmness, she finds chaos within herself. Because when a woman mates a man she cannot shake, she must explore why. He becomes the question, and attraction is born in the presence of mystery, not certainty. You must understand this on a deeper level. You are not here to be the answer to her emptiness. You are here to be the mirror that reflects her longing for something more. Not more attention, but more meaning, more depth. And if you are empty within yourself, she will run. But if you are full, still, and silent in your truth, she will orbit you like the moon orbits the earth. This is why kings never chase, mystics never beg, warriors never explain. Their energy is too precious, their time too sacred. And the more they become absorbed in their own becoming, the more the world, and the feminine within it, rushes to join them. She may not even understand why she's drawn to you, but you will, because you will have remembered something every great man once knew. When you become whole, you no longer attract from lack. You attract from overflow, and she will chase the source, not the spark. Are you ready to bring this wisdom into the real world? Now it is time to turn theory into power, wisdom into movement, because knowing means nothing until it reshapes how you walk, speak, breathe, and exist. The magnetic force that draws her in isn't activated through thought. It's activated through embodiment. You don't need to convince her. You need to become the man her soul is already searching for. Let's begin with stillness. You must train yourself to be deeply rooted in silence, not just the absence of words, but the silence that comes from within. Most men fill every gap with noise, jokes, texts, over-explaining, chasing her attention. But silence, when it's lived, not faked, communicates supreme confidence. It says, I am enough in this moment, without needing anything from you. When you look into her eyes and can hold the pause without flinching, you become unpredictable. You become powerful. She feels it, not in her mind, but in her body. Practice this next time you're with her or any woman. Allow space. Don't rush to answer. Don't rush to ask. Just be. Breathe. Let your gaze be calm, not seeking. Watch how the energy shifts. She will lean into that silence because it reflects a depth she can't find in men who perform. Next, build your world. You cannot expect a woman to want to enter your life if your life has no pulse, no rhythm, no meaning. Begin with your routines, your rituals. Wake early. Move your body with intention. Set a vision so strong that it pulls you forward. Whether you're building a business, mastering a craft, or seeking spiritual truth, let it consume you. This is not selfish. This is sacred, because the man who is consumed by something greater than pleasure becomes irresistible, not to every woman, but to the right kind. Create boundaries like a king. When you respond to messages immediately, drop your plans for her, or change your energy based on her mood. You dissolve your structure. The feminine cannot relax around chaos. She tests you, not because she wants you to fail, but because she needs to feel your frame. So let her test, let her question, but never collapse. Never step off your throne. Speak slowly. Choose your words. Let your presence answer more than your promises ever could. And when she pulls away, you don't chase. You bless her departure. You continue forward with grace and zero resentment. Because you know, the one who walks away from your depth was never meant to hold it. You don't try to prove your worth. You embody it. And that silent knowing echoes louder than 1,000 text messages. Now elevate your energy. Meditate. Fast. Train. Abstain from distractions that drain your masculine fire. Porn. Endless scrolling. Gossip. These leak your power. When you preserve your essence, you become electric. She may not know why she's drawn to you, but she will feel it. Your aura changes. Your eyes deepen. Your voice slows. You become the man who walks into a room and bends the air, not because he's loud, but because he carries something. And finally, remember this. The greatest seduction is presence, not performance, not pretending. Presence. The man who is fully here, unapologetic, undistracted, undivided, is rare. And the feminine is starved for that rarity. When she feels you seeing her without needing her, when she senses that your world is full with or without her, she will step into it not because she has to, but because something within her must. Now take this and apply it not for her, but for you. Let her chase what's real. Let her discover a man who no longer waits to be chosen, because he has already chosen himself. Are you ready to see how this all ties together? Now you know, not just in theory, but in feeling. You've been shown the path few men dare to walk, a path not paved with lines or tactics or games, but with presence, power, and purpose. You've seen the ancient pattern, that when a man remembers who he is, the world begins to rearrange itself around him. Even the hearts that once ignored him begin to orbit the gravity he no longer tries to create, because he has become it. This isn't about getting a woman to chase you. It's about becoming the kind of man who no longer needs her to, because his life is already full, not full of noise, but of silence, stillness, meaning. When you become that man, women feel it, not because you flaunt it, but because you no longer seek anything from them. They feel the heat of your discipline, the calm of your certainty, the storm behind your eyes that never needs to be explained. And suddenly, the chase reverses, not because you planned it, but because nature always honors the one who honors himself. You are not meant to convince her. You are meant to remind her of the archetype she's been waiting for, the steady flame, the immovable force, the rarest thing in a noisy world, a man who knows himself. So if you're ready to take this deeper, not just to attract, but to awaken something primal within her and sacred within you, then leave this in the comments. I no longer chase, I attract through stillness. Say it, not just as a phrase, but as a declaration. And if this message stirred something in you, then honor it. Like this video so it reaches the men who need to rise, who need to remember. Because the world doesn't need more men who chase. It needs more men who become. The next time you find yourself waiting for her attention, remember this. She is not the goal. You are. And when you realize that, she'll realize it too.